Yeah, welcome to the Racer X Exhaust podcast, brought to you by Yoshimura. I am Jason Wygant. By the way, I was assuming that everyone was listening to these shows via the Racer X Podcast Network, but we do post them as links, audio-wise, on the RacerXOnline.com website. So if you're listening there, you might not know about the Racer X Podcast Network. Just search for it wherever you get your podcast, be it the Apple one or Stitcher. I don't even know. I just use the Apple one on my phone, and I'm terrible at technology. But I can tell you, if you search the Racer X Podcast Network, you will not only be able to subscribe to this Racer X Exhaust podcast hosted by me, but you also get Daniel Blair's Main Event Moto podcast and the very popular Moto Marketing Podcast with Luke Nessler and any other little tricks that we throw in there. So make sure you subscribe. If you want to listen to the post-race press conferences, we got every single one of them right here in the Racer X Podcast Network. And also leave a review and give us 5 stars because I want my Uber rating to improve. Like I said, I'm not good at technology. I'm not sure that that's how it works. Leave a review. Tell us that we're awesome. Our moms would appreciate it. As for this show, it is brought to you by Yoshimura. As always, go to yoshimura-rd.com and get the latest on their exhaust systems. They're churning out new stuff. You got the RS12 system now for the YZ250F and the Suzuki RMZ 250 and 450 and tons of other exhausts for tons of other machines, street and dirt, ATVs, some side-by-side stuff. And don't forget Yoshimura Cycling with the all-new Chaleo pedal available in 2 sizes, made in the USA, super high-end flat pedal. And all the cool guys say flat pedals get the job done on mountain bikes and, according to one guy, even road bikes. So go to yoshimuracycling.com for more on that. No one has told me this, but I have a feeling they did not start that URL of a website only for pedals. There could be more. Everybody loves bicycles, in this industry at least. Also brought to you by MX Tech Suspension, which manufactures professional aftermarket suspension for riders who want excellent comfort and control. Their quality engineering is based on a lifetime of specializing in dirt bike suspension, and they have developed the Lucky Fork featuring dual springs, dual cartridges, Huck valves, and it's still ultra lightweight. MX Tech utilizes the latest in technology and coatings to deliver maximum performance while remaining the lightest shock available. Head over to mx-tech.com for more information. Apple, left, right, AB, start. Yeah, if you just hit like the 30-second fast forward so you'd miss that ad, now you're totally confused, so don't do it. Psychic MX is a full-range motocross brand from engine internals to your everyday wear and tear parts. From your weekend warriors to your full-on race guys, they have everything you need. So check them out, psychicmx.com, or visit your local dealer today, or just click on one of their ads on the RacerXOnline.com website. And also, speaking of Racer X, we are giving away, this is awesome, a specialized Levo Turbo e-bike. As I like to say, I've learned, I am converted. There are 2 types of bicycle people. There are those that hate e-bikes, and there are those that have ridden e-bikes. Once you ride one, you will like it. All the weirdo things that are making you say, I don't know, man, that's weird. They're probably too heavy. They tear up the trails. They roost. I want to get a workout in. Once you ride one, you'll realize the brilliance of these e-bikes is that they're just like riding a bicycle. They feel the same, except the one drawback, like a long, boring climb, it's still a workout. It's just not as gnarly. So you can ride further, you can ride steeper, you can ride longer, you can ride faster. It's still a workout. It's still fun. It just doesn't have all the drawbacks. And the biggest thing to me is that you can get riders of different levels of fitness and ability to ride at the same speed, which is why I really need to get one for my wife, because I'm a physical specimen. I'm an incredible endurance athlete, and she is good for a 40-something mother. But I mean, dude, I'm like all-time elite. So she needs a little help to keep up with her 40-something-year-old husband, who's just amazing. Maybe I should enter the contest. You can go to racerxonline.com/Weege, W-E-E-G-E, and you're entered to win that specialized e-bike and gear to go with it. And as a bonus, you'll also get Racer X magazine, totally different than anything you see on the web. You can get it digital or print or both. So go there now. Do not use the Mathis link or the Moto Marketing link or the Daniel Blair link. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm trying to fire those people, and I need a way to justify it. Just kidding. Gosh, don't go nuts. Speaking of Daniel Blair, he is the host of these post-race press conferences. There was one held very late here in the East Coast last night, an hour after round 16 of Monster Energy Supercross took place. We've got the podium players in that one, Cooper Webb, Eli Tomac, and Zach Osborne, as well as, why am I giving you the names? Daniel Blair will do that. Just listen. Okay, here's your post-race press conference, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the post-race press conference from round number 16 of the 2020 Monster Energy Supercross Championship from Salt Lake City. Huge congratulations to the riders on the podium tonight in the 450 division. Cooper Webb, Eli Tomac, Zach Osborne. In the 250 division, Chase Sexton, Shane McElrath, and Colt Nichols. Congratulations, guys. We'll start with the 250s, and I'll start with you, Chase. How important was tonight's win, just going into the showdown? We talked about it on the broadcast, the difference between being tied and having a little bit of a cushion at 6. Was there just extra emphasis on making sure you got the win tonight?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, 6 is definitely better than 0, but at the same time, 6 isn't that big of a gap either. It's still got to go out there and do good. So, yeah, I mean, it was definitely important. I feel like the last mud race was good for me, and then I wanted to be able to come back and just put another good ride. And I think I really focused tonight on just doing consistent laps and try and keep the pace. I feel like the other races I kind of fell off later in the race. So I think for me, just trying to keep that early pace going, and it's hard with the lappers out there because they're pretty chaotic. So no, it was a solid night for me. I felt good all day, and yeah, I really liked the track tonight. The dirt was really good, so looking forward to Sunday and putting us all together. I'm sure it's going to be pretty chaotic.
The pass you made for the lead, was that being set up a lap or two early? I saw you maybe the lap before kind of scrub that double too, or was that more of just an instinctual move because you felt you were close enough?
Yeah, actually, the lap before, I scrubbed like way too hard. I caught my foot peg, and I was like,
Hey, Chase. Hey, we lost your audio, Chase. All right, we'll move on to second. Shane, congratulations on the ride. Take me through the pass with Chase. Did you know he was there? Did you think he was close enough? It looked like you kind of at the last second kind of lifted up a little bit. And then maybe take me through the next lap. It looked like you lost a little bit of time and weren't able to make like a counter move. So,
yeah, it was honestly, I could hear him behind me, but I didn't know that he was that close and really able to make the pass there. So it was a bummer that it happened then, especially early on. It's like, all right, I was kind of just like finding my flow. It's like, all right, Chase is behind me. And I was ready to keep going, really. It's like, all right, let's just put in our laps. But Chase, there was a few places where he was a little better, and he made a good pass on me, and then he was able to pull away. So it was a little bit of a disappointment because I felt like I should have called him back and passed him back. But that's I'm disappointed in that. But we're going to be ready to go on Sunday. I mean, 6 points is not as much as or is more than we wanted to have, but 6 points is enough for him to lose some sleep over this week. So we're going to be ready.
With it being a showdown, and obviously with you two being pretty much 1-2 the last few races, I mean, do you look forward to the showdown knowing that there's other guys that can get in there and cause some havoc?
I do, because, I mean, my plan is to go and win, and I believe I can win, and I think that everybody behind me is going to be fast also, and Chase is going to have his hands full. So it's going to be good, and it's only 6 points, so we're ready.
Well, congrats. Colt, talked about a little bit on the podium. This run in Salt Lake City for you is a way to just get back into the racing and get things going. Are you feeling good about where you're at on the bike and where the bike is? looking forward to 2021, knowing that you're kind of building some blocks right now for next year's season? Having some audio issues. We'll come back to you. Hey, let's go 450. Coop, we'll start with you. Take me through the middle part of that race. It looked like you were being pretty patient. You had a solid push, but it didn't look like you were all in. But then all of a sudden, something kind of flipped. Was that because you knew Eli was coming, or were you just kind of gauging the race and Zach in front of you and knowing that the time was it was a time to go? Because it definitely looked like something switched and you definitely flipped it up last 5 to 7 minutes.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, I saw, Eli was making moves and he got around Jason, and then, Kenny was kind of all over me at the beginning of it. I felt like our pace was strong enough to, not be freight trained, I guess. And then, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, and then, about halfway, I saw Eli made the pass on Cannon. He was behind me. I just knew, hey, it was time to go. I felt like it was Zach was riding well, but we needed to go a little faster. So I kind of got to a point where I needed to get around him, and I was able to. And then, obviously Eli got around him too, and I knew it was going to be – I had to finish strong. So I felt like, it was a sweet race for me, obviously, to get another win. And I think another thing too was I switched my line through the whoops about halfway, and that seemed to give me a little bit better momentum to the whoops, and that seemed to help. So it was definitely a tough race. And I mean, I saw on my pit board Eli did like a 42.9, and I was like, oh, it's time to get going. So I felt like I got going just in time.
A good ride. Eli, this one's for you. I want to know what you were thinking in the first turn. I mean, I know you wanted to win tonight. You wanted to end this thing tonight, but I just want to know what your thoughts were first turn and maybe those first 2 laps. I mean, was the game plan to survive, or were you still just, I'm going for the win, I want to make it happen?
The first turn, it was just a joke. I mean, I was way out the back. I was probably the last guy on the inside. So went defensive, and that did not work in that first turn. So Mookie went up the inside. I think Barsha was even there on the inside. And then just really had to pick my way through the pack. That first lap is it's a little bit chaotic. Made a good move around, the second, third turn there. And then went to work. I felt like I could make, easier passes this week compared to this the previous track. But, the front couldn't get to the front. So, satisfied on that second.
Zach, this one's for you. You've mentioned before how being on the podium it's awesome, but you're also frustrated because you're close. That win's sitting right there. Based on what you know now, just being this close, what's that final piece? Like, what's the final piece missing to get over the hump and get that win?
I was just like 5 laps short tonight. Tightened up there a little bit at the end. Kind of just let it go. Maybe the mental side of things got to me a little bit and kind of buckled under the pressure, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm kind of in uncharted waters for myself. So I feel good about my third, but it would have been really good to hold on that last 2 minutes and take a win. But there's still one more on Sunday, and I feel really good about my whole package right now, and I'm happy with where I'm at. So we'll give it another go.
Before we get to the media, Colt, I'll get back to you. We didn't hear anything. So, again, building blocks right now, getting ready for the summer, and then obviously 2021. Are you happy with where you're at, where the bike's at, and just knowing that, again, the blocks are building towards next year?
So on happy with where I'm at. It was a little frustrating just not being anywhere close to the guys tonight. I was kind of just riding around in no man's land. So, that part was frustrating for me. Yes, we're making building blocks, and it's always great to be on the podium, but I'm, not even close to the battle. So that was a bummer. But all we can do is keep trying to strive forward. I think we could work on the bike a little bit, and then I just need to be better as well. So just a little bit of frustration, but it is what it is. We got one more race, and I want to try to finish it off strong before we head outside.
Congrats, guys. Kicking off with Jason Wygant.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. Jason Wygant, Racer X. Cooper, I'll go to you first. The whoops and the jumps and the turn after the whoops were very similar to what they were at the last race, and that's actually where Kenny passed you. Then you were struggling a bit in that section early. Was that a section you'd been thinking about all since Sunday and even during the race? And because somehow you went from a weakness to a strength there with about 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, I mean, that was something that even all day today, like the flat turn was something that I struggled with. I don't know what it was. But yeah, I was able to, like I said, I switched lines in the whoops. I felt pretty good in the whoops at the beginning, but I kind of caught on to Zach's line. And when I started doing that, that's where I felt like my whoop speed was a lot better. And then it opened up that turn and it kind of all came together a lot there. So yeah, it was, like you said, I think the last race, that's where I was really slow and obviously lost the lead. So felt like I improved there. And, but, it was good to be able to make that adjustment during the race. And, I was pumped.
Eli was catching you and you said you saw that. Was that just for the race win, or was there a little something extra because you knew you had to finish in front of him to keep the title alive? Was there even a little extra motivation there?
Oh, for sure. I mean, like I said, I felt like we were all riding really strong. And I think Eli was just really, ripping some good lap times, and he kind of caught to the pack. And then, I could tell, like, I know kind of like how the Honda sounds, and then I know how the Cali sounds. So I saw he got behind me, and I was like, all right, it's game on. It's time to go. So like I said, I felt like I fixed a few things and kind of got my laps time down a little bit. And yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously he's got a nice points lead, but I wanted to try to at least make it to Sunday and just see if there's any hope, So no, overall it's a good night. I mean, yeah, to be able to at least take it to Sunday, there was the motivation there. And then also, me and Kenny are really tight with the second in the series. So I wanted to, get as many points on him too. So yeah, I mean, obviously there's always motivation. That's never a lack of, for me anyway.
Michael Antonovich.
All right, Michael Antonovich, Swap Moto Live. First question is for Cooper. When you made the pass on Zach for the lead, I mean, that was about as sketchy and on the edge as you could do it. Did you just know, like, hey, I have to do this right now and put the throttle all the way to the stop before you hit the whoops? Or was there like a little bit of a mistake when you made that pass?
A lot before I had gotten closer. And yeah, I mean, it was a little, Sinded-ish for sure. I mean, I wasn't sure if I was going to make it happen. And, I just kind of clipped that off and, went a lot deeper than what I was trying to. But, I felt like I had picked up on that line in the whoops, and I was, a little faster actually there at the later part of the race. So, yeah, I think it was more of like hey, it's just I got to get going if I want to, chance at winning, and obviously holding off Eli too.
Okay. Second question is for Zach. Same moment. Knowing that Cooper is your training partner, do you have a higher level of trust in that situation and he can run it in a little bit closer? Or did it completely catch you off guard and that's why you gave up another position to Eli?
No, I mean, obviously I trust him. I trust pretty much everybody on the track, actually. But the reason I gave up another position to Eli is because when he came up the berm, I had to go even higher in the berm, and it was just in the fluff up on the tough blocks. So pushed the front and barely saved it. And then that crushed all my speed into the whoop. So, Eli went straight by. But yeah, I mean, as far as trust goes, there's not many people out there that are going to just saw your legs off. So I know that, yeah, he wasn't going to blast me or anything, but he's really good at that. Being not really quite close enough to make it happen, but running it in there and making it happen. So yeah, that was a little bit of a mistake on my part.
Steve Giberson.
I was curious with Chase. We kind of missed the second half of the answer on the the pass there. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sorry, my phone went to my truck because my truck turned on and I went straight to my speaker. So no, I just knew I was good in that rhythm section, and I knew that I could get close to him. So it was kind of like I got a really good drive off the backside of that first jump, and then soaked up the first triple, and I was like, all right, I got to make a pass here. And then no, it was good. I made it. It was pretty aggressive, but also I didn't want to give Shane another chance to get back on me in the next corner. So I had to make it stick, and then from there on, I kind of just try to sprint away and hit my marks as good as I can while going through lappers. So it was the track was really good, and I enjoyed that main event.
And for Eli, the last race, you kind of complained about the start there and said that was unacceptable. And tonight was maybe even, a little bit on the worst side. Tomorrow night, or the next race, we've obviously got a pretty good points lead for you. But what are you looking at for a start next time around?
Oh, I don't know. At this point, I might as well just let everyone roll. Or let everyone go and then roll, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just try to be a little bit better. I mean, I'm trying to protect that inside, but that hasn't been working the past two rounds. So that was it. I don't. It's just got to be a little bit better. There's a lot of good guys on the line.
Thanks,
Alex Gilbert.
Thanks, Daniel. Alex Gilbert, MotoOnline.com. This one's for Zach. Entering the Salt Lake City rounds, you were 14th in the points, and now you're climbing up there around towards 6th position. So does that mean anything to you at this stage of the year?
Not so much the in position, but just to gain the momentum that I have and turn around what was a dismal season into a massive injury and come back and get some results feels really good. It wasn't like I came here and I'm like, I can get 6th in the points or whatever. I came here just to get results and kind of right the ship, if you will, before we start this outdoor season and kind of overcome my injury and the dismal start. So it's cool to be climbing the points and to be up to 7th in the premier class in the world, in my opinion. And that's all good and fine, but the main goal right now is results. And after leading probably 45 laps since we've been here, I want to win one.
Dan Lamb.
Yeah, staying with you, Zach. You've definitely taken the road less traveled to get here. A child prodigy, kicked back, had to go to Europe to get a ride, came back. You've been through a lot. You're now 30, factory ride. You're tippy top of the sport, battling with the best in the world. If someone told you in 2009 this is where you'd be in 2020, what would you say? Or was this always the plan? I mean,
sign me up. No, really. I mean, it's more than I could have ever dreamed of or envisioned. I don't know. I kind of ran out of. I had to set some new goals recently, in the past year, because I had kind of met all the things that I thought I could do in the sport or places I could go. So for me, this is bucket list stuff. I mean, I want to win, and that's the next thing.
What would you say the biggest catalyst has been to getting you here from where you were, with joining this team in Baker's factory or something else along the way?
I mean, just hard work, being in the right place at the right time, finding my recent success in the past, 4 or 5 years is finding a group of guys that I'm super comfortable with. And obviously, a good training program and a good bike and stuff, but really I'm a comfort guy, and the team that I'm on now really make me feel comfortable, and just kind of rally around me when I need that. So that for me, that's probably the biggest thing, is having a group of guys that I'm just super comfortable with, and that know when the gate falls, I'm going to be there, and they don't really put a whole lot of weight on anything else.
Nice. Thanks, guys.
David Iser.
Hi, David Iser, DMXS Radio. Eli, when this gate dropped, you didn't know that was going to be an instant classic from where you started and where you ended up. Considering the championship battle and the points consideration, at any point during that race did you decide to back it down? And what was your determining factor to push all the way through to the end? At what point in the race did you say, I can win this thing?
Well, when it was Zach, Cooper, and Kenny, once I caught that group, I'm like, man, I'm right in this. To be honest, I thought it was going to turn into last Sunday when the two broke away and I was kind of out of it, but was able to get there, right? But I was a bit, I don't know, I tried to push to the front, right? But at the same time, I was kind of in conservative mode there. I just, that was it. Like, I was happy with second at that point. So Yeah.
And what about that line in the whoops and that following corner? Is there anything following the Coop that you wish you would have done differently, or was that part of your conservative strategy?
Yeah, after the race, I mean, I probably should have been going on the inside route. You know, I was one of the fastest in the whoops, and yeah, I was chatting with my dad about that too. We were driving back, and I'm like, dang it, you know, I should have been hitting that inside line, but I think should have been checking up more on that triple because I was going too fast kind of through the air, and then I was flying outside, so it's kind of a wash there. Yeah, that would have helped, you know, stick a little bit closer.
All right, and Zach, one question for you, sir. You'd be like the most improved in the second part of the season. You had another great race and a podium here in Salt Lake City, even though you didn't win. You had some words with Coop at the podium. Did we miss something during the race? Is everything okay? Was that something before or after the race or during the race?
With Coop?
Yeah.
No, everything's good. I don't know. I don't think we had words. We were just talking about the race.
Okay, good deal. So, and then the race itself, when you did get past going into the whoops, that next section, was there any point during that you decided that you wanted to push, or you didn't want to get into the championship battle and possibly force the issue?
No, whenever Coop passed me, I almost went down, and that kind of blew any shot that I had at getting back to Eli or to Coop. So, I mean, there was not really any of that going through my mind. I just want to win a race. I'm not too worried about anyone else's situation. I'm just, you know, trying to do my best.
Hey, good questions there. David Iser of DMXS Radio. Terrible job hosting this thing, Daniel Blair. And great job building exhaust systems to the folks at Yoshimura. Go to yoshimura-rd.com for the latest exhaust system information for your bike. Whatever kind of bike you have, they've got it, as long as it's a 4-stroke. And also YoshimuraCycling.com, and get your hands on the Made in the USA Chileo pedal, or maybe a cool-looking cycling kit. Now back to the press conference, now starring my right-hand man on the website, Mitch Kendra.
Mitch Kendra,
Racer X. Staying with you, Zach. We've seen all three of you guys between you, Dean, and Jason all step up in Salt Lake City. And then obviously those guys won the heats. You weren't too pumped on your performance. You talk about being a comfort guy. Was that just in the main event? You just knew it was crunch time, you were able to go out? Or was it just putting more laps down? You were just more comfortable out there? What was able to you turn it around?
I was nervous going into the main because the heat was terrible. I just rode like crap. I was just really uncomfortable. And we made just a couple clicker changes on the fork, and went with a different front tire that I had been running previously. We made some changes for the mud during the day, and it just changed a lot from the second practice to the heat race. It was like a completely different track and something I wasn't really ready for. So, you know, they were kind of like, what was that? So, you know, they know when to get onto me and when to, you know, hold back. So today was one of those days where I had to do it on my own, and just really kind of turn it around after the heat race. Like I said, I was super nervous, and I felt like I should have won the heat for sure. And then pulled the whole shot and led 20 laps or whatever, and nearly won the thing. So it was a good turnaround for me.
And then was there anything that when you were talking with Dean and Jason that they were just hitting their marks, or just anything specific that changed with them, or just kind of a comfort thing?
More just a comfort thing. Like we're also different as far as riding style goes. I'm so short and they're, you know, taller guys, and they make things look really easy and I make things look really hard. So there's always one guy that's the butt of the joke in the truck, and that was me today because the heat race was just so bad. So I was looking to turn around for the main.
Tyler Tate.
Colt, my question's for you. Coming into the race on Sunday with teammates vying for a championship, do you feel like you're in a position where you need to kind of help and protect your teammates? I mean, because the points are so close, you know, 6 on the East, 7 on the West. Are you going to be in that position, or do you want to just go out and race what you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to say I, want to be in that position, but hell, I was trying to be in that position today, and I was probably 20 seconds back. So it's just one of those things where I need to be a little better and focus on myself and not really worry about that situation because I don't care either way. I'm kind of in the same boat as kind of like Zach was saying. I just want to go try to win a race, and I can't do it, riding the way I've rode the past 2 rounds. So for me to do anything, I just got to be better regardless. But I mean, if I can help, sure. But otherwise, I want to be out there and do my best performance and try to win a race.
Steve Mathis.
Question for Coop. You set your fast lap near the end of the race, and you lowered your times as it went on, and of course rode a tremendous race. You said you realized it was like time to get going, and I get it. But like specifically breaking it down, what is it about those late races where you just find this stuff, you reach down, you seem to be in incredible shape. Do you find lines? Is it a mental thing where you're like, okay, now it's my time? I mean, you seem to have a lot of confidence late in the race. What is it about that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. After that, we looked at laps from all day, and my best time of the day all day was lap 25. So I'm not sure. Speed whenever I need it. I think it's more for me, like just knowing that the main events are so long that you can't win it in the first 10 laps, and I think that's where I kind of, maybe to a fault sometimes, kind of settle into the pace ahead of me, those first 10 or 15, and then just kind of whatever. Sometimes, you have to just kind of funnel into that thing. You don't want to get in the cat and mouse, or just depends how every race is. But, obviously I really trust my fitness, and I feel like I can really dig deep when I need to. And, that's something that I feel like I've always done pretty good at. So that's where I'm getting some of those earlier lap speed and in. So, I think there's nothing crazy to it. I think that's just how I've kind of always been, even in the 250 days or whatever. So just kind of always try to lay it out there at the end.
LeBig.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. This is a question for Eli. What went through your mind, after the first turn? I mean, were you worried about, the outcome of the race?
Oh, the most nerve-wracking is the first lap, so when you're buried, it's just like so many things can happen out of your own power. So that's what's sketchy, that's what's sketchy about starting in the back. So there was a hang up in turn 2, and then turn 3 was pretty tight, and then I got close to Bloss on the finish line bowl turn. So it's a situation I don't want to put myself in, but I was able to make passes quicker this weekend compared to that Sunday.
Thank you.
Aaron Hansel.
Questions. The first one is for Shane. Tonight, knowing the potential point swing, it was a big night. Did that put any additional pressure on you any more than any other races coming in tonight?
I would say yes and no. I mean, I'm really just wanting to do my best, and today I was happy with my main event, like the way I rode. I just was a little bit behind all day. Like, we started out, track was a little soft. We made some changes. All day we were a little bit behind. Like, we were making the necessary changes. We just were a little bit behind. So it was a bummer. Like, I was like, all right, let's do it. Heat race, I felt good. Main event, I felt good and got out front and was felt like I had a good pace going. I just needed to clean some things up, but Chase got around me and then pulled a little gap, and it was like I had laps in a row where I would catch him, and then he would pull me back. And so it was I mean, for me, I don't have anything to lose. So it's really the only pressure I put on myself is like, dude, I'm this close. Like, I want to win this thing. But I mean, the pressure is all on him.
My last question is for Colt. I don't expect you to really get too deep into it, because I know you probably wouldn't really tell us even if there were team tactics, but have you thought about your role in Sunday's race and what you might do if you're in a potential situation to cause any kind of point swing at all?
Yeah, I mean, Yeah. I mean, I just want to go out there and put myself in that position. I mean, up until now, I haven't really been in a spot where, besides maybe the second round, where I felt like I was even in a position to do anything. And it worked out really well. Shane was the better man on that night and he won. I can't really do much else than what I'm trying to do. And, just the way I rode tonight was unacceptable and I started horrible. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I just want to get out front and do what I can do. And if I need to do whatever, I'm sure we'll talk about that and see whatever we can do. But I know that, the team wants to win this championship. I want to see these guys do well, but I'm fighting for myself. At the end of the day, I don't really care that the championship's going to work itself out on both coasts. And I just want to be there to even mix it up. That's kind of the idea for me.
Joey Barnes.
Question for Eli. A lot of the people that I talk to around the sport like to tell me that this year you've kind of conquered your demons. You've kind of shaken loose your demons of the past 5 years. You're one race away now. Got a pretty big lead going in. What's changed this year for you?
But just consistency in general. I've always had these weird, probably 2 races, or I even look at 3 races, when I look back to say 2017 or whichever years, it's been somewhat close. So consistency, and that's really it. And just feeling, I don't know, just more level-headed, less up and down emotion this year. I felt like I've just been kind of, on that same level the whole time.
And I guess the follow-up to that is whenever you had the gate drop and you go into the first turn, trying to protect the inside, but end up coming out last. I mean, did you think to yourself, here we go again, coming into this race?
No, not at all. In previous years, I've struggled with having, just everything in general dialed in right away. Right. Like, I've been those other years where I was, off to a really slow start for those first 4 or 5 races, and then we'd get the motorcycle dialed in to work in all conditions. And this year, we were just ready to go from the get-go. So that's been big for me, is I know I can make it the distance. Previous years, I wasn't even able to make it, the 20 minutes. I'd blow myself up or something like that, or have a crash or whatever it would be. So being ready from round 1.
Thank you.
Jason Wygant.
One for Eli. The question we always ask when there's one more race to try to win the title is, will you take the chance of riding this week? Will you take less risks? Is it better that you only have to wait half as many days as you would under any other circumstances for the final race, and not riding in between is probably not a big deal?
Yeah, I haven't been riding in between any of these races. So that's been my thing. So if anything, it's just what we've been doing.
David Iser.
I got stuck in the gate on my last question. Sorry, guys. Zach, my question to you was, did you have any words with Eli Tomac at the podium, not Cooper Webb? I'm sorry.
I bumped him when I went to turn into the podium on accident. Like I was trying to, he stopped short and I was trying to go by, and then he said something. I don't know what it was. Okay, so that's it? Nothing more to it? Okay. And Coop, I know how much you love flat corners the first time around. What did you think about it this time around? You had at least one race on your belt with a lot of flat corners.
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot of them this Salt Lake trip. So I've been pretty happy. I mean, that's something where I feel like in the past I've always struggled more on these hard pack tracks, especially when I look at like when we go to Phoenix and stuff like that. So I feel like my hard packed riding's been the best it's ever have. So I'm been happy with it, but always room to improve.
You consider yourself a flat corner specialist yet?
Nah, I like some ruts, man, but we'll keep working away.
Thank you.
Alex Gilbert, and then we'll close it out with Dan Lamb.
Yeah, this one's for Chase. Obviously, on Sunday, the priority will be to win the East Coast Championship. But how important is a good result up against the 250 SX West guys?
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this East-West shootout all year. I want to race everybody, and I think we didn't get to race that. I think we were supposed to have 2 this year. We only get to race 1. So for me, I want to go out there and have that offense mentality and put myself in a good position, and hopefully can run up there and try and win the race. I think I want to prove some stuff on Sunday, and I feel like tonight I rode well. So hopefully carry that into Sunday and just come in with that offense mentality, and I want to win that race. So I'm looking forward to getting out there and mixing it up with the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
Last one, Dan Lamb.
Yeah, Dan Lamb, Moto Ecstatics. This is for Cooper. 3 Wednesdays, 3 wins on Wednesday, 3 or 4 wins on the year. Are you petitioning Feld for Wednesdays in the future? Have you always been a guy that's been great, like middle of the week, or is this something new?
Man, it's something new. Usually Wednesdays off, so I think it's been great results. I've gotten first and second, at all the races so far, and I couldn't ask for much more. And I don't know, the team was asking me that too, and I don't know what the answer is. I think just after you get beat, you're always fired up to want to go out and win the next race, and that's just kind of how it's worked out. But so far Wednesdays have been really good.
That's fair. Thanks, Coop.
Good job tonight, guys. Congratulations. Thank you. We'll see you on Sunday.
And there it is. 1 race remains in the Supercross Championship that at one point looked like it would not even happen. Here we are. We're going to get all 17 rounds in. Okay, I guess there's a chance. I'm not even going to talk about it. An earthquake or something. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. We're going to have all 17 races in, and a tip of the visor to the folks at Feld for putting this together. It could not have been easy. And I remember the very early days when we got to Utah. Sean Brennan, the PR man for Supercross these days, came on Mathis's Pulp MX show. We were all there helping host and announce whatever you want to say. And he gave a startling statistic. 47 years. There's never been a Supercross race that didn't take place. It always happened. And they're going to make that happen this year. We're going to get to round 17. Who will be champion at the end of it? Obviously, the odds are on Eli Tomac's side. But good job by Cooper Webb for at least bringing it down to the finale and making it just that much more interesting. But for Tomac, man, I've got so many thoughts. Obviously, you cannot talk about a championship until it's actually complete. But this will be so big. I don't know if anyone will gain more from his legacy from winning a title than Eli Tomac will if he locks this thing down Sunday, because he has absolutely been defined for now over 4 years, because this series should have already been over in May. It's been more than 4 years now where he has absolutely been defined as the guy who could not get this Supercross title done. And now he's 3 days away from finally being able to erase that. That's going to be quite the storyline, but we're not there yet, if it happens. So make sure you tune in, as Ralph Shaheen calls it now, Championship Sunday. It is. It's Championship Sunday. All 3 titles on the line Sunday. And we'll be back with more podcasts and more analysis. So make sure you subscribe, Racer X Podcast Network. Thanks for listening.